Hello, and welcome to this HelloID provisioning product release video for March 2023. HelloID provisioning is a 100% born-in-the-cloud, easy-to-configure and maintain user provisioning solution. It helps organizations to fully automate the user lifecycle management in the network by connecting the HR or SIS as a source system. Every change in this source is detected and processed into the network. No more worries about stale user accounts, accumulation of licenses or access rights, manual user management, or compliancy issues. Please note that in this video, we will only show the new functionality for the March 2023 release. Please go to docs.helloid.com or our YouTube channel for more videos. Let's get started. In this video, we'd like to start with a PowerPoint presentation and then demo the new functionalities for the March 2023 release. This release has two new features. The first feature is the conditional notification event. With this, you can determine if a notification is sent or which template is sent after an account action. For example, you will have a create account action if an account is created for Active Directory, and sometimes when persons have a phone number in their account, you want to send this template. And when they don't have a phone number, you want to send another template. Or maybe if the department is empty and you don't want to send any notifications. Please keep in mind that this feature is in beta, so please do not use this in production environments. If you want to see this function, you can request it from your local support team, and we will enable it on your environment, and you can test it out and see what's upcoming and hopefully give us some feedback so we can include the feedback before it goes into the production state. The second new feature is add logging who approved a threshold block. What this means is that you have thresholds that you can configure both on the source and target side, and if they are hit, such as if there are too many persons or too many created accounts or too many deleted accounts, then we will show a block. You can see this, review this, and approve this. But now we just register that someone is approving the review and confirm that it is okay, and we audit the user so that you can look back and see which person approved which threshold on what time with the persons and actions involved. Let's go to the demo. For the first feature, the conditional notification event, we logged into HelloID, and let's move on to provisioning. Then we go to Target Systems. Here you can add a new target system, and please note that this is in the PowerShell beta system that was introduced in the last release. And you have to have the beta feature flag enabled in order to see this. So if you don't see this, please contact your local support team. If you do see this, then you can create a new system, but you need a system like this to enable the conditional notification event. Let's say we have a target system and it's Google. Then we go to the new option, Fields. This is also from the previous release and still under the beta flag, just like the conditional notification event. Here you can see that we already have the mapping of the fields that you use in your connector, and you can see the options notification. So the used in notification, and you can also see in which actions the notification value can be used. Here we have external ID, and the external ID can only be used in the enable, disable, and delete actions. You can also see here that only the enable, disable, and delete are used in notifications, but not on the create, because for that action, it is not enabled. If we enable it here, then you will see it here, and you can use it in create if you want to. Let's shut this down again to keep the settings like they were. The other one is username. You can also see here that the username is usable in the create, enable, update, disable, and delete actions. So that's important. But let's say we only want to send a notification if the display name and the username have a value. Currently, we cannot do this because the action create account is created, but if the display name doesn't have a value, then it's fine and we still send a notification. But in this case, we don't want to send a notification if it's not filled. What we want to do here is store the display name in a notification, only the create and update events. If we close this, you will see the option notification appears saying it's usable in the notifications for create and update. What we can do now is go to Business. We rename this from Business Rule to Business, and you can create custom events. In this custom event, we can create a new event and say only send when display name and username has a value. We can use a system, so let's use the target system Google that we just created. And we want to do this for the account create action. What happens is that we are going to configure what conditions this applies to after an account triggers this event. So let's say we want to trigger this event if our username has a value, but we also want to check if our display name has a value. So by doing this, both of these should have a value, and then the event is triggered. If you are creating multiple conditions, it's always an AND condition, not an OR condition. So it should apply all of the conditions. Of course, we can also say that if the display name has no value, we'll invert the condition, but those are the options in this release. In the next release, we'll have the contains and equals that allow you to do more things with the conditions and also checks if a field is updated, yes or no. But for now, we will just say that if a username and display name have no value, we want to start an event and connect this to a notification. So now we have created our event, and we can go to Notifications to create a new notification. The notification will be to send when the display name and username contain a value, the same as our event. And here we can say only send when a display name and username have a value. This is the custom event we just created. Of course, you can still use the built-in events such as Account Create, Account Enable, but the difference is that these built-in events will always fire, while this one only fires when the conditions are met, so when the username and display name are filled. Let's select this one. You will see that the system is automatically configured because we configured it in Event, and now we can do the same as always. Create a template for our email notification. So let's do something like this. We'll name the subject Account Created, and we'll put a variable in there, the account username, and username is the mapped field that we used in our target system. Of course, we can still define a message that we want and use all the parameters that we normally have. With this new target system mapping, it is easier to do that because you can see the fields there. So if you go to the target system Google and go to the fields, then you can use these fields to define in your template like we did with the username. So it's easier to see. That means that if an account is created, it doesn't matter for which person, and both the display name and username have a value, then this notification will be sent. Of course, you can always decide you don't want to send this notification and remove it. It will then still trigger an event. The event will become a little unnecessary because there isn't a notification tied to it, but it still triggers the event that does nothing because there isn't a notification paired to the event. This is a strong feature, especially when we have more features where you can do contains, equally, and updated, and you can use this in many ways. In the future, we will have a PowerShell notification system, so then you can not only send an email, but also other forms of notifications such as text messages or other things. There will be a lot of things you can do with the notification system. For the second feature, we're going to show the audit logging we have for the approval of the threshold. For this, we have made a report, so if you go here, you have the report icon, and then you can go to provisioning. And here you have a new report, User Action Approval Threshold. You should click on this, and you will see that it loads with the default value of the last 15 minutes. We made some changes and approved some thresholds. And here you can see all the changes that were made. It's easily visible in this pie chart that there are more target thresholds approved than source thresholds. So if target systems in general hit the threshold more often, which of the systems hit the threshold most often and of course, which user approved the threshold most often. Here, you can see all the records available inside the database and inside the audit logging. Here, you can see the system type. So, if it's source or target, the system name, and a message that helps you to see details, such as that 6 persons were added or 3 persons removed, or that the access for revoke actions on an account is approved. If you want some more details, you can open it and see all the details in here, but the most important ones are already inside the rule. So this is a very nice feature. Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know if you have any additional questions. You can post your question in YouTube or send it to iSupport@toolsforever.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive frequent updates about improvements and changes in HelloID. Have a wonderful day.